Hi, everyone. Welcome to Turn of Events, where we help you put a positive spin on the future of your business. I'm Annette Naif. I am the CEO and creative director of Naif Productions. We specialize in corporate, social, nonprofit, and weddings. I'm also an event planning coach. I help event planners start an event planning business or take their current business to another level. I know it's kind of crazy right now and people aren't really sure how to work their business or market their business or do what they need to do to change up their business. So I'm happy to give you any advice that you need. We've also started an event planning Facebook group. So we would love for you to be there, Event Planners Society. It's a really great, I'm gonna give tons of tips and great information, and it's just gonna be a really, really awesome place to be if you're an event planner and you wanna network with other event planners and get some great advice. I've been in the business for 30 years, so we can definitely help you. If you have an interest in doing a live event, we are booking live events for next year, but we are also right now doing virtual events. So if you have a live event, you're not sure what to do to take it to a virtual platform, I'm happy to talk to you about it and give you some advice. We're happy to help you in any way. We can consult, or we can also help you with the full production of it. So please reach out. Would love to hear from you. So my guest today is Jessica Stewart. She is the Vice President of EMRG Media and also the Event Planner Expo, which I am a huge fan and love so much. I knew they've been around for a while, and I actually don't even know how many years it's been now, but I knew when they first started it, and I've been a big supporter, and I spoke last year on their stage, and I get to speak this year. We're going to talk about their event this year, and I'm just super excited to have her. And let's welcome Jessica Stewart.
Hi, Annette.
Hey, girl. How are you?
Good. Virtual hug.
Virtual hug. I know. I've been seeing you in forever. So I'm so excited to have you today. We're going to talk about adapting and pivoting in the event industry, which, I mean, you guys have a very big expo that you put on every year here in New York City. And I can only imagine how you felt when all of this came crashing down. So we're going to talk about that. But I would also love to hear how you started, what's your career, what's going on, and then talk a little bit about the company and where you're at now.
Perfect. So I'm so happy to be here. It's so good to see you. I love always seeing you. So I started working at EMRG Media probably about 11 years ago. I came from a cosmetic background, working at Estee Lauder and Chanel, doing sales allocations. And I would go to work every day and I wasn't fulfilled, to be honest. Missing. I'm very creative. I love marketing. I love doing sales. So I made the decision to give them my notice and walk out. And I've been at EMRG Media ever since. And I really love every minute of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so well, how's your mindset? I mean, I did a mindset call a couple calls ago. I did on my show, and it was amazing. And if you haven't listened to it, you need to go back and listen to it. Danielle was amazing, and it's, mindset's everything, whether it's in business or personal life. So it was a really great call, and she's awesome and fun and gives all these great tips. So how's your mindset been through all of this?
So I think when this first happens, I think it was about March 13th, maybe.
The worst day, yeah.
We've been hearing things, and my husband was like preparing, like he was buying all of these things. And I was like, you are overreacting. There is no way this is going to happen. Right. And then we got the notice from my daughter's school. And then everything started trickling down. And as you know, Annette, we dance weekly.
Yeah.
And then the restaurants, and then the event spaces, and then you can do an event for 10 people or 50 people or whatever it was. And it really was like, holy shit, what are we going to do?
Right.
So I think for the first month, like everybody was kind of sitting back saying, okay, where do we go from here? So the truth of the matter is, we looked at the business, we said, what can we cut back? What do we really need? I think everybody in the industry was doing that. Like, where can we cut back? What do we need? How can we stay in touch with our clients?
Right.
So we immersed ourselves in education. We really took a lot of courses from the big gurus, like Tony Robbins, Pete Vargas, listening to them.
Right.
Keeping our mindset right that this is a very bad thing that happened. it's not the worst thing that can happen, but how can we move forward? So we collectively got together and we said, okay, what can we do? Let's call our clients. Let's make sure they're okay. How can we help them? What value can we provide to them that can get them through this?
Right.
The first thing that we did was we sent inspirational quotes every day. And people loved them. People would call us and say, oh, we copied and pasted it and we sent it to our mom, or we sent it to our office.
Right.
That was something small that we did. But we really had to look out and say, okay, what can we do now? And we've come up with some great ideas, and there's exciting things in the future. So it hasn't been totally bad.
Right, right. So EMRG Media, was that first or was the Expo first? How did that all transpire?
So EMRG Media came about probably about 20 years ago. So Mario Stewart, my husband.
Which I just found out. I've known you forever.
Right, exactly. And Erica Maurer
together, I know.
Started EMRG Media.
Right.
So there was a nightlife division. There was also a corporate division. And then we started doing like the NYC venue guide. And then 7 years ago, we started the Event Planner Expo because we really wanted to bring our corporate clients, the Googles, the Barclays, the Chanels, and then our venue clients and services clients together in one place where they can get information to produce amazing events.
Right.
So we're doing our 8th year on October 13th through 15th.
I can't believe it. It feels like yesterday you guys reached out and said, look, what do you think if I can't remember who it was. I'm trying to think of the guy's name that reached out and said, we're thinking of starting this expo. And, there's the Biz Bash Expo.
Right.
So never know, like, if they're all over the country, but you just don't, you don't know if you're going to start an expo. Is it going to be successful? Right. Does it conflict? Will people go to it? So I remember, and I just felt like it was, it's always good to have variety of options and things to go to. And so I think everybody, they get, different people to come to these things. So different followings and stuff like that. So I just, I've always been a supporter, as you know, since day one. And I recently just started speaking with you guys, which I love. Last year I spoke on marketing, and I did this year as well. So it's funny how I got into the whole marketing thing, just because I do a lot of it. I was marketing on Facebook and social media way before anybody ever did. So, and it was really by accident. I just thought, well, this is a good way to talk about my events, right?
Right. And social media now more than ever, I think, is so important between, Facebook and Instagram, and showing photos of the events that you've done and tagging people. People really enjoy seeing it. And you mentioned, other people doing what you're doing. I feel like now with COVID, I feel like all competition should go out the window.
Yeah.
We are all in this together. So if you're doing an event and you normally work with one florist and they might not be able to get it, the florist, we did an event a couple of weeks ago and she was like, I can't get you those flowers, but I know another florist that can do it.
Yeah.
Where before this, people really sometimes didn't want to give their competitors the business. They'd rather just step back because.
Well, definitely. The thing about my industry right now is we are all event producers, planners, meeting planners, whatever they are. We are pulling together and helping each other, which is, I still, look, I have a really great group of people that I'm friends with in this industry. I know a lot of people in the industry because I ran the Event Planners Association for many years, but we have been, everybody's reached out, how are you doing? And we really feel for each other and we're trying to help each other. And, the biggest thing we can do is, I'm trying to get all the vendors into my events, and it's hard when you're just doing a virtual event.
Right.
There's not a lot of vendors I can bring in. So become very good friends with my tech company. My agent company and I are like really working a lot together. So, so how has your company pivoted? So I know that when this happened, what were you guys, I know you were thinking, oh shit, but like, how have you pivoted and what was the strategy? What were you thinking?
So the strategy was that when we produce our events, as I'm sure you do as well, we don't like it to be a cookie cutter event. We want it to be creative. We want it to be interactive. and all of that good stuff, especially like you've been to our expo. It's not a typical trade show. We really made it an event.
Right.
So we said, we have so many clients that were planning conferences and even their holiday parties. We had some bat mitzvahs, and people still wanted to have their event, but they didn't just want to go onto Zoom and see their friends. So as you said, you became very good friends with your tech company.
Yeah.
So we've been working with a bunch of tech companies, and we flipped a lot of them to do virtual. So whether it's bringing in a celebrity speaker or sending wow boxes to all of the attendees, or, you know, t-shirts with the bat mitzvah child's name on it. So it can be really interactive, and that's the way you can keep people engaged in any type of event that you're doing. It has to be interactive, and that was so important to us, to make sure that we can pivot and have a virtual event that people will still walk away from and say, hey, that was an amazing event.
Right. So you have an event company in addition to the expo, which I actually didn't really realize that.
Right. So EMRG Media is the main company. So underneath that is the Event Planner Expo. So we produce the Event Planner Expo. EMRG Media produces the Event Planner Expo.
Big challenge to take on. I mean, you have, so how many sponsors and speakers and talk about the expo.
So the Event Planner Expo this year is October 13th through the 15th, virtually, obviously.
Yeah.
So on the 13th and the 14th, we have about 100 speakers, which is more speakers than we've ever done.
Right. What do you normally have when it's live?
So live, we probably have about 40.
Okay.
And then this year, the keynotes that we have are really, really amazing. We have Damon John and Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. We have Tim Story, Mario Armstrong, so many other people that wanted to be a part of this show because they said to us, your community has been hit. Let's provide them with value. But besides the speakers, we have all of our amazing exhibitors back. So that's going to be fantastic on the Thursday, October 15th. So people will be able to see speakers on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then exhibitors plus fireside chats on the Thursday.
Yeah, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
You are a part of it. Thank you so much.
So if someone is, how do you get, you know, as an event producer, people wonder, how do you get Damon John to get on your stage, especially if it's virtual? What was the process on that?
So Damon John was supposed to speak live.
Okay.
So we booked him probably a year ago.
Okay.
As you know from attending our events, we always bring in some big headliners who had successful businesses that they can share with our community. So he's been doing virtual. Obviously, when all this came down, he was one of the first people that we called. We still wanted him to be part of this event. And he's really excited about it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, and then what other projects have you guys been working on? You mentioned like a bar mitzvah and stuff like that, but what other projects are you guys working on?
So we're in the process now of booking a lot of holiday parties because it's that time of year where normally people would be coming in for site visits and different things like that. Right. So we're constantly talking to our corporate clients, showing them the different platforms that we're using, telling them how they can keep their employees engaged because obviously everybody's been working remotely. Right. So all of these people are looking forward to seeing their coworkers and how to do it in a fun way. So again, it might be sending them a little treat, whether if, you know, it might be like a butterfly bake shop cake in a cup, which they are doing now, or different wow boxes. You know, sometimes people are sending in like a cocktail menu. Right. So we're doing different things like that, planning. We also did a challenge, a 10-day challenge, a couple of weeks ago, which was great. We brought in 40 speakers. We had Jesse Itzler, co-founder of Marquee Jet. He came on. So we've really been trying to see how we can serve our community and produce successful events for our clients.
Right. And I've talked about this many times, but the biggest piece is the engagement when it comes to virtual. and finding exciting, fun things to do beforehand. And the gift boxes are always great to send because you can put a bunch of little fun things in there that they can use while they're on the event.
Exactly.
I'm excited already. And I've talked about, doing a virtual check-in instead of when you're going to go and check in, you do a virtual check-in a couple days before the event, things like that. So it's just keeping the engagement, which is the challenge, is keeping it more entertaining and exciting. You can bring in a magician and do like a 15-minute thing with the magician. You can do, so it's really kind of fun. So how has your sales process changed, or has it?
So I always have done sales in a way. My dad owned a business, so he always taught me, see what the customer needs. What do they need? Anybody can go in and be like, I'm selling a booth for this amount of money, and ram it down their throat. You know what I mean? But the truth is, we're providing a service. We produce this expo in person with 150 booths. But you want to make sure when they're done exhibiting that they walk away and say, that was worth that dollar amount. I made this many connections. So my sales process is always, what are you looking to get out of this? What are your needs? And then I customize a package based on their needs. Because if I know something's not going to work for them, I'm not going to sell it to them.
Right.
Like the other day, somebody called me and she was selling, it was a bracelet. And she was like, I've heard about your expo. I think that it's so great. I think I really want to be a part of it. And I knew she would walk away and she would get nothing.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not a good way of doing business. So, I gave her a ticket to the show. I said, come. Network. We have networking lounges. Come network that way. You could probably make more connections that way than you would exhibiting. And she just said, thank you for your honesty.
Right.
And I think that's so important, especially today when people's budgets have been cut.
Yeah, for sure. So how are you getting exhibitors? Because I know a lot of people are concerned because they're either sponsors or exhibitors, however you want to call it. How do you get them to understand the value of being in the event, right? To be a part of the event. So it's great that you didn't just take her on just to be a sponsor, but that's a big concern with a lot of my clients as well. Are they going to really get the same value that they got in a live event that they would in a virtual event? So what's the strategy behind that? What's the thinking? How do you guys set that up?
So I think what's really important now is, you're in New York City. Things aren't open at 100%. We know that, but they will be.
Right.
And if you don't keep yourself in front of our community, event planners, marketing, PR executives, they're not going to remember you in a few months. That's why you have to remain in front of people. And that's what I told people when, people came to me and said, I heard you're doing virtual. We want to do it. I reached out to all of our other exhibitors. It's so important to keep your brand out there because things are closing, and it's so unfortunate. But for those people that are still standing, they have to let people know that they can help them, whether it's in their backyard or, doing a smaller event or doing an event where might have been 100 people, but you might be able to rotate 20 in at a time.
Right.
To keep it safe. So that's really what I told everybody. And people said that to me too. I want people to know that I'm open for business and I can help them.
Right. When when this first happened, and I've said this before, when this first happened, I assumed that everybody knew I was a virtual planner, right? Producer. Right. But because I have done virtual for over many years, 30 years in the business, you do some virtual, and I'm mostly live, but and so I wasn't really talking about it. So the biggest thing is you need to tell people what you're doing, let them know that you are doing virtual, and be visible. I'm all over social media, and I think you guys do an amazing job. That's one thing. If anybody wants to learn how to do some marketing, watch what they're doing, because you guys are killing it with the marketing, and you have to be consistent. You're tagging people, which I thought was a really for me, sometimes we're just so busy that when you guys tag me, then I can share it right away.
Exactly.
So just a little bit of a tag, and tagging people is the way to get that out there. So especially if you're promoting an event and things like that. But being consistent and being visible is really what it's about. So I know you touched a little bit on some fun things to do, but going from planning in-person events, and how are you keeping your virtual events exciting? So that's like the biggest question is, how do I keep this fun and exciting?
So I think something also to that point is, I think a lot of people are even saying like, how can my big event at this amazing venue that I book every year be that great online? I think a lot of people are scared. The truth of the matter is, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're all human, and this is all new to everybody. And you can go in, and you don't have to have all your T's crossed and your dots. What is it? A dot? Dotted I. But the truth is, you know, engagement. I think sending that wow box is so fun, because people really just get bills in the mail or a magazine that they never get. But if you can get a box with your company branding on it and some cool gifts inside, they'll be like, wow, my boss or my company time to think about what I would like and what I can use during this event. So whether it's an emoji or that, or a cool hat, or a button, people really want something to engage in. Different games, like musician, anything like that that's interactive, I really think will keep people happy. Because even when things start opening up, people are still going to do virtual events.
Right.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
Well, my clients are loving it, and they're not spending as much. I mean, it does cost money to do them, but my clients are actually loving the virtual, and I think they're going to incorporate it more. But also too, prior to this happening, I've been talking about engagement before that. So even in a live event, you have to have engagement and something fun for people to do. They just don't want to sit anymore in a conference room and listening to the speakers, who could be great, but they just don't want to sit there and have nothing, and that's all they do all day long. One speaker to the next. So
completely agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's super important. All right, so what advice can you give to corporations who are still nervous to make the switch to virtual? Which I do a lot of nonprofits. I do corporate and social and nonprofits, but the nonprofits, it's a board that has to decide, and they're old-fashioned. A lot of the boards have been on for, forever.
There's a lot of red tape.
Yes, a lot of red tape, especially with the corporate, but boards are always very nervous because it's a fundraiser and they don't want to spend the money. Right. But I am doing them, and they do see that they have to keep their company out visible as well. They have to keep that momentum going with donations, because if you don't, so a lot of my companies, if you don't, then you're going to lose your following. Right. So a lot of my companies are doing virtual this year, and they're doing the live next year's, and they're going to keep doing them. But I think that they're going to keep doing that. So we'll see. So what do you see in the,
why are people scared? I think because it's new. I think with anything else, whether you're learning to ride a bike, as a kid, you're scared to get on. But once you're on that bike, it's like smooth sailing. Here we go. You don't want to get off of it.
Right.
So I think really, if you're planning an event and you're talking to a board or a team, you need to say, what have we done at our live events that can transfer onto the screen, that can keep people engaged? So they might say, oh, well, the people loved a photo booth, or people loved a scavenger hunt, or different things like that. Because really, at an event, people, they come in, they go to the bar, they grab a drink, or they might be dancing.
Yeah.
You can still have a dance party on Zoom.
I've been to people. They're really fun.
You know what I mean? People are grabbing costumes. We're doing a couple of Halloween ones. I think they just have to honestly take the leap and realize that it doesn't have to be perfect, like I said before.
Yeah.
If you have a good product, like I always say, and you treat the people that you're working with with respect and you're honest with them, you can say, as much as I would love to have this event in person, unfortunately, we can't have it this year, but we wanted to bring everybody together.
Right.
And here's this and here's that, and it's going to be amazing. People are going to be into it.
Yeah. And you guys, if you have any questions, please, jump in. Marketing, she's a guru in marketing. So if you have any questions. So I wanted to, I know that, we have the expo coming up soon, and I'm super excited. And so why don't you, I think you might have some sort of special thing for our audience here.
Yeah. So this year is all about giving back. So what we did was, you guys can all go in. I think the Event Planner Expo link is in the chat, and you can enter promo code Jessica100, and you will be able to get one complimentary general admission ticket to the trade show floor. So you'd be able to see all of the exhibitors, as well as the fireside chats on Thursday, October 15th. So Annette's going to share that. And then we'll also put another 30% code in. We can use Annette. I think you have one too. Annette 30.
It's Naif 30.
Naif 30. And that can be used on any VIP or all access ticket where you would get all 3 days.
Right. Okay, well, awesome. I mean, do you have any final tips for, people who are maybe thinking about starting an expo or anything like that? I mean, I know it's a huge job. You guys are just amazing at it, and it's really been big, and every year it gets bigger and bigger. So just any final tips for the audience?
I just think that, it's a new time, it's new beginnings. I think that, if people are, sorry, I thought I lost you.
I'm here.
If people are, scared, or they're thinking about getting into the event planning industry, it is so exciting, and you can be so creative that really the possibilities are endless. And jump right in. I think, you have nothing to lose. Life is, I always say, you shouldn't have any regrets. So if it's something that you want to do, you can do it. You can put your mind to it, and you really could do it.
Yeah.
You just need to work hard. That's what it is.
You need to work hard. And obviously, if you're thinking of starting a business, or you have a business right now and you just have absolutely no idea what to do with it right now, I'm happy to talk to you. Please reach out to us. To get in touch, to get the tickets for the expo, it is, and we're going to put these up here, and I know, so you can find Jessica and her fabulous team at emrgmedia.com. You can also find them on their Facebook page at the Expo Planner, the Event Planner Expo, no S in planners, it's Expo, I always make that mistake.
Right.
On Instagram as well. And then the link for the expo is the eventplannerexpo.com. So
right. The event planner.
Join us. There's going to be some really fun, amazing things happening. And Jessica, thank you so much. I'm so happy.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in person. Stay safe.
I know. I can't wait to give you a big hug in person.
Yes. Stay safe. Have a great day.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.